Doing really well. We are now joined by Bubba Wallace, driver of that number 23 Toyota Camry. We're going to go straight into questions, and our first question is going to come from Heather Williams. Go ahead with your question, Heather.
Hey, Bubba. Obviously, a lot of talk about your new team and your new owner, and then the high-profile owner that you have in Michael Jordan, and then also Trackhouse Racing has a high-profile owner in Pitbull. Can you just talk about the importance of minority owners in the sport, and you guys really kind of bringing in more people into the sport, your team and with Trackhouse?
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. It's I actually had texted Justin Marks the other day about the partners that they were bringing in. It's really cool to kind of see some fun brands coming in, but really cool for Pitbull to also be joining NASCAR. And talked to Suarez about that and said he's a big fan. He fell in love with the sport after watching Days of Thunder. So I thought that was an interesting connection there and crossover. But I think it's big. It shows other minorities like, hey, if these guys are investing, then why can't we? And then continue to grow our sport. And so that's what we need. It's all about exposure, reaching out to the right people, because they have ideas of how they want to see success and grow their name, grow their brand, and getting it a part of NASCAR where a lot of minorities, it's not really what they go to, which is NASCAR. We're changing the game, everything that happened last year. I think we put NASCAR on the map in a lot of new areas. Got a lot of new fans looking to tune in this year, which is great. It's important. It's huge for all of us. So we just need to keep the ball rolling.
Our next question will come from Vern Glenn. Go ahead with your question, Vern.
Yeah, Bub, I'm just curious about your owner and Michael Jordan. I'm sure he's come around at least once to kick the tires. I'm just curious if you got any more Michael Jordan stories for us.
No, I don't. It's been just through text messages, really, as our form of communication. He's going to get down to the track, I believe, the week of the 500, and so that'll be my first official meeting with MJ. So we've been grinding in the background, getting everything together with the team, spending time on the sim, just the last minute checklist before we all head south. I'm heading south at the end of the week, so. Just making sure I get everything done and everything that I need to do, because season's here. I tweeted out yesterday. I walked into the bus to throw some clothes on, throw some things on, and I stood there with no one in the pitch black. And I said, damn, it's time to go. So I'm pumped. I'm excited to get down there.
Any thoughts that here's a guy he could walk down the track with all 6 of his rings, just brandishing him in front of him and going, here you go, Bubba. Let's try and match that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's a lot of pressure riding on us, but we being able to get to know him better, knowing how he dealt with pressure, having Denny there, looking at the success he's had through the years, I think we'll be just fine.
Last one from me. This month, Black History Month, after an unusual year that we've had and everything that's gone on, what would it mean to come out on top in this particular race?
I think, any race is important, but like you said, with the way things have shaped up this year after the year we've had last year, Daytona being on Valentine's Day, Black History Month, such an important month for all of us, especially in the time that we're in right now. It's shaping up to be a real fairy tale ending.
Our next question is going to come from Zach Aldrich. Go ahead with the question, Zach.
Hey, Bubba, Zach Aldridge with WCCB here in Charlotte. I'm doing a Black History Month story on Sam Bell-Navis. You kind of talked about changing the game and changing the sport last season, and you being, a trailblazer of getting more eyes, more black eyes on the sport. When you look at someone who came before you as you set the path right now, what did Sam mean for the sport and to be at the spot that it's in right now?
Yeah, Sam was a vital part. I met Sam when I was 12 years old, when he was at Roush. And he remained a really good family friend, close friend to our family for years, even up to, recent. We've still been in contact. So I've really appreciated Sam's vision on everything and how he's gone about things. And he wants to see, the word minority gone, because it's the majority now. And so he's always pushed for that. And you know, we're working to get there. So a lot of work to be done, but just an incredible human being for sure.
What type of weight might be on your shoulders? Because you kind of mentioned the vision that he had when you go back some years in the past, and the sport didn't have many people who had dark skin and who were different. For him to have that vision, and now kind of the torch has to get passed along for things to happen. Now what's on you to kind of carry along the legacy that you could say that he helped to usher in?
Yeah, I think we just keep doing everything that we know how to do, and that's in our control. We look at what Wendell Scott did really to kick off the trail that he had blazed. I've been trying to carry that torch ever since I've been in the sport, and so while I'm carrying the on-track stuff, there's a lot of people that are carrying the off-track. You know, is in the same way we're pushing for more, pushing for great success from a minority standpoint, from a diversity standpoint, inclusion, from the whole nine, you know, and the sports behind it, the fans are behind it. Some of the fans are behind it. But we just got to keep pushing and not let anything, you know, steer us off the beaten path.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Bob Pockris. Go ahead with the question, Bob.
Yeah, Bubba, this is your best opportunity of your career. Are you doing anything differently in preparation? Is Denny giving you certain things to do that you haven't done before? And if so, what are they?
Can't tell you all my secrets there, Bob. I know you like to share that on Twitter. So good try. But no, I think this is big for me, like you said, being able to have Denny in your back pocket, you know, looking at the year he had come off of, you know, there's a lot of positive momentum for us. We have some really crucial meetings coming up this week before we get down there, and we'll continue to have that dialogue of what we expect, how to execute the right way, and go about things the right way to put ourselves in a position to contend and compete for wins. So I'm excited about it. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity. I don't know if I've said that enough, but this has been what I've been wanting for so long, to go out and try to prove a point, that, you know, hey, I belong, and we're going to go out and compete, contend, and become a household name on the racetrack.
I know you're not going to share your secrets, but have there been things that they've asked you to do that you haven't done before? And has it been eye-opening at all?
I wouldn't say eye-opening. There's just more things to look at. I said earlier, we just have a bigger plate in front of me with a lot more to digest on it, from data, from time commitments, and just being more active and proactive to everything, making sure I'm mentally and physically prepared for the season ahead.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is going to come from Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead with your question, Jordan.
Bubba, two questions for you. First question, what is reasonable expectations for you for this season?
Yeah, I look at just continuing to grow from the seasons that I've had. Last year, we think we kept getting better and better. Do I expect to jump in and win right out of the bat? No, not at all. I know this sport, if it was that easy, a lot of people would be doing it. But it's not that easy. And I know the competition that we go up against, it's the toughest than ever than it has been. So I'm excited to get on our way and just see where we stack up. But we start to build a resume, you know, at Daytona, and build off that and continue to get better. You know, for our team, it's going to take a couple races, just like any new team will, to get everything underneath us and making sure, like, oh, we missed that last week. Let's make sure we don't do that, and prepare for next, and build that. And then once we get going and get a couple races on our belts, then we can really start to pinpoint our weaknesses, our strong points, and build off those and grow from those and learn from everything. So there's a lot riding on us. You know, I've had personal goals of the 2 wins and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with having personal goals at all. You know, for personal goal for everybody in the field is win every race. Not really doable. Harvick and Denny tried to do that last year. But yeah, I think you just got to go out and be competitive. And I've felt more competitive and more passion, more drive than I ever have, with everything that's right out in front of me with this opportunity. So we'll go out and get it.
Second question, is there more, how much pressure is it on you to win this season or next year?
There's been pressure ever since I got into the league to win. So just another year, new car,
No different?
No different.
Okay, thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Jeff Kolb. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
Hey, Bubba, thanks for your time. 2 questions for you. When you think about where the journey starts for someone like yourself, getting into racing and then getting up to this level. I believe you're still the only Black driver to come through the Drive for Diversity program. In your mind, what needs to happen for there to be more diversity going forward behind the wheel in NASCAR?
Yeah, we got to show that the program works. And I think we have. You look at myself, Larson, Suarez coming up through the ranks and, all competing against each other on Sunday. It's the product of that program. Are there ways that we can get better? Yeah, for sure. Those are conversations that we have behind the scenes of what are we doing to help our youth and get them in the right spots where they need to be to showcase what they really have. And so I think going out and being competitive on the racetrack, showing that, I belong is a big stepping stone for that. So we just have to go out and do that.
And second question for you, talking about your new team, what's the vision that you and MJ share going forward? And what do you think his presence in the sport will do?
Well, I think everybody got a chance to watch The Last Dance, and was able to show us, who he is and how he is as a person and a competitor. And so, sorry, you guys got me. There we go. Sorry. I think that is, what we're kind of looking at. And at the end of the day, he wants winning race cars, wants winning race drivers. And he took a opportunity to invest into me, and he's seen something that sparked his interest to make this deal happen and move forward with it along with Denny. And so, I can't thank them enough for allowing me to pilot their race cars and to utilize everything that I've learned in the last three seasons, really, in the Cup level, but overall 6-7 seasons it's been since the truck days. So we're just going to go out and do what I know how to do, not change up anything, not, try too hard because of MJ or because of Denny or because of the opportunity. I've done that mistake. I've made that mistake in the past of trying too hard when the time wasn't right, and it does more harm than good. So we'll go out and just give it our all each and every week and continue to get better and better as the weeks go on.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Holly Kane. Go ahead with the question, Holly.
Thank you. Hey, Bubba, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Holly?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I wanted to ask you, how often do you kind of think about how amazing it is, all of the things that have happened in the last year, and how different it must feel for you showing up at Daytona this year compared to last year? I mean, it's been like a lifetime of things that have happened in the space of that year.
Yeah, I've lost 7 pounds from everything that happened last year. So much stress and pressure, Lord. No, I think everything happens for a reason. I was actually on the phone with Claire right before this and said it'd be interesting to see when it's your time to go and it's the end of your lifetime. It'd be interesting to see if you could get a piece of paper handed to you saying that here's everything that happened and why it happened and what came out of that. And so we'll never know. That's why we just live life. Every day is a new day, a new opportunity to go out and capitalize on. So that's how I'm looking at it. We look at Daytona and look at, the whole perspective of this is an incredible opportunity, but we can't let that get too big. We can't let it, supersede like our expectations and our mission to go out and compete, because once you do that, that's when the mistakes come. That's when it's just like, oh, didn't really expect that. We have to be ready. It's just another season for us that little things are a little different, different look, different sponsor, different teams. Like it's great to have everybody involved, from partners, from manufacturers to the partnerships that we have with Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing. So we'll just go out and execute. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I imagine that you couldn't have imagined, sitting in your motorhome last year in Daytona, all of the things that would happen in the next 12 months. I mean, it's just been a lot, huh?
Yeah, no, I think it's funny. I have a goal every year to not be a part of the headlines. Every year I have that goal, and I've failed every year because there's something. It's just like, hey, I want to, not make any controversy. So something always happens, whether it's my doing or not. But it seems like it's always my doing. So
Headlines are sometimes good, though.
I guess so.
For the right
I
reason.
guess. Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Our next question is going to come from Kelly Crandall. Go ahead with your question, Kelly.
Hey, Bub, I've got two for you. The first being, as you know, there's a difference between running up front and consistently running up front, which is the expectations for you guys this year. So what kind of an adjustment do you think that will be for you behind the wheel? Basically just learning how to race against guys that you haven't necessarily been around as much. As you know, it's a different kind of feeling and environment at the front.
Yeah, I think I look at the races that we had, driving the 43, the races where we were running up front and competing, we were strong. Look at Indy, 2 years ago, Indy even last year. I know how to race against those guys, do they expect me to be up there? No. And do they race me differently because of it? Yes. And so I think that's the biggest thing is that's going to change for other drivers. It's going to, hopefully it's like, okay, this kid, this guy, whatever they call me, whatever, knows what he's doing up here. And so we have to race him a little bit different. So I'm not expecting it to be a cakewalk at all. That's not what we're there to race and race hard. And so that's what I'm looking forward to the most is having more of those running in a top 10 each and every week, showing that we're a factor and able to contend for wins and just go out and have fun and do the best that we can.
The second thing I wanted to ask is, over the last couple months, as this team and partnership with Denny and everybody has taken shape, in what ways has your relationship with Denny changed from what it previously was before you became his driver? And has he been any sort of influence or helped you or bettered you in any way?
Yeah, we're having those conversations now. They're starting to ramp up for sure. Denny's been super busy with his own palette of things, driving the 11, and then he has a separate palette for 2311. And so I know he's been crunching away, but he has been very vocal in our emails and our text chain about getting together and setting expectations and what to expect, how to execute the right way. And so I'm all ears and got the notebook ready to see what there is to offer. But yeah, I think, we just have to grow together as a driver, as drivers, and figure out how we can push each other to be better. It's going to take some time for me to grow with the team and to gel. But Denny told me at the beginning of this deal, if there's something that's not right, then don't hesitate to go to him, no matter the circumstances. And so I'll make sure to have that lifeline in my back pocket when things aren't going necessarily according to plan for whatever reason. But I don't expect that to happen. I think we have the right people in the right place to make our program successful. From the front office to our guys in the shop, to our road crew, to our pit crew, everything's in front of me right here. It's just not easy to grab, but it's doable. So we just try to go out and do it.
Thanks, Bubba.
Yep.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Wetzel. Go ahead with the question, Dan. Oh, you're on mute.
My bad. You just mentioned that one of your goals each year is to not create any controversy. Why?
Because it's tiring. It seems like whenever I rage quit an iRacing event, I'm the most hated person. So it's just like, hey, let's just stay low key here this year. Well, nope, didn't happen. So yeah, more controversy I cause, the more media calls I got to do.
Last year's you were put in a tough spot that other drivers aren't put in. How did you handle a responsibility in a situation that really is not any of your doing? I know you said some of your controversies are your own fault, but last year's really weren't at all. So how do you handle that?
Well, I look at go be a part of something where you're the minority for 18 years, and you learn how to handle it. So it's just another day in the life of old Bubba Wallace here. So it's all right. I'm good with it.
Thank you.
Simple as that. Mm-hmm.
Our next question is going to come from Alan Cavanna. Go ahead with your question, Alan.
Hey, Bubba, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Simple question. I don't know about the answer though, but in 2021, is your biggest challenge on the racetrack or off in dealing with the pressure and everything?
On the racetrack for sure. It's just delivering results. This for me is the one and potentially last opportunity for me. We have a solid foundation underneath us to make this program better and to grow this team and make this a household name in the sport, and make it a pinnacle name of our sport. And so I think the on-track stuff, you just got to go out and execute and not get lazy and not get sidetracked, not get too frustrated and throw away some really good races. And when we do have bad races, we try to grow and get better throughout it and capitalize and just make every opportunity count. That's the biggest thing. So.
And expectation wise, some people would say set them low and outperform them, right? But setting 2 wins as an expectation might be a lofty goal. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, but like I said, our goals, every driver's goal is to win every race. So that's the loftiest of lofty. That's like a 60 degree, right there next to the green. That's a ton of loft. Not doable, but hey, we have those personal goals. And so, for us and our team, it's we have a lot of pressure already without the wins or without whatever, just going out and making sure we have everything underneath us that we need to compete and perform. And so, as long as we get better each and every week, we're going to have some races where we shine, and then it's going to be like, we fall off, but we have to be able to bounce back from that fall off. We have to show that, we can face adversity and perseverance and show progress throughout the whole year.
Thank you. Have fun.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Matt Weaver. Go ahead with your question, Matt.
What's happening, Bubba?
Hey, what's going on?
So you mentioned earlier, walk in your shoes for 18 years, and that'll give you the perspective. I want to go back to those first 18 years a little bit. Back when you were coming up through the short track system, running UARA, what was it like to be and I've got a follow-up for you too, what was it like being a black driver growing up in the short track late model system?
That was just another driver there. Everybody was super competitive, and I didn't necessarily feel the race card in those scenarios. I never really have. And obviously it's been brought out more and more in the recent months and last year. But it wasn't like Wendell Scott had it back in the day. I'll say that. I was treated fairly, for the most part. When they couldn't find out why we were so successful, then that's when they would protest and do everything they could to stop us. But we just show back up the next week and compete and win. That was it.
And with that being said, with Denny looking at maybe doing some super late stuff this year, the new team, is there still an opportunity with 2311 to help diversify and to bring awareness to short track racing? Because there's been great progress, but there's still so much more that needs to be made.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done, really, and that's that's on NASCAR's hands, that's on our hands, and every team, we can all play a huge part in pushing for diversity and inclusion inside our 4 walls. So those conversations are going to be had, and we'll see what the outcome is. But where's Denny racing super lates at?
We're going to find out.
Oh, damn! All right.
Thanks, Bubba.
No problem.
Our next question will come from Alex Andreev. Go ahead with the question, Alex.
Hey, Bubba, I've got 2 for you. One is a little bit off of Alan's question, but, kind of the reason behind the 2-win goal. What have you seen in these early days at the shop that have made you feel like that's an attainable thing? Whether it be, have you sat in the car yet? And what have some of those early interactions with your teammates been like?
Yeah, I've sat in the car. I actually sat in it earlier today just to get last minute things going. I feel like people are writing 2311 2 wins. If we don't get that, then we need to close up our shop. That's not the case at all. That's a personal goal for me. So, but knowing the success of Toyota, knowing the success with JGR, there's a lot more opportunity than I've had in recent years to go out and compete. Knowing our cars, knowing the hours that are going into it, knowing the manufacturing that's going into it, there's no reason why we can't go out and just compete.
And then, there's a lot of people that want to see you succeed this year. There's also a lot of people that want to see you fail for some pretty ignorant reasons. And I know that you tend to get a lot of hate on social media or otherwise. I'm wondering if that has ramped up, sort of those like hate messages have ramped up recently with the news of this new team, and if it has crossed over into like threats at all to make you concerned for your safety when we do get fans back at the track eventually.
How about I'll just let you know when it ramps down. It's going to be there for every day, and it's part of it. It makes me stronger.
But so like, are you nervous at all about that, at the track and worried for your safety at all?
Nah, I'm good with it.
Thank you. Good luck this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bubba, that seems to be all the questions.
All righty.
Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.